The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, or SSANU, is threatening to shut down universities on Thursday, July 4, owing to the government's failure to pay the 4 months delayed payments. Well, earlier, the Joint Action Committee, comprised of SSANU and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, issued a 2-week ultimatum to the federal government to pay its members a 4-month withholding salary. Now, out of the 4 university-based unions that went on strike in 2022, the federal government only paid the Academic Staff Union of Universities, leaving the other 3 unions unpaid.
The leadership of the Joint Action Committee of SSANU and NASU will be meeting on Thursday this week to review the situation and also take decisions that will further culminate the expiration of the 2 weeks that we had given to government. Recall that we wrote a letter to the Minister of Education and also the Minister of Labor, intimating them of our desire to resume our suspended strike, which we suspended because of the promises made by the federal government of Nigeria to pay the 4 months withheld salaries. This we have not seen, and there is nothing convincing before us so far to show that efforts are being made. Even the House of Representative Committee that came in to discuss with us and passing a resolution on the floor of the House of Representatives directing the President and the Minister of Finance to see to it that these payments are made. Nothing has been done so far. So obviously, what we have realized is that there is insincerity on the part of government, and there is a serious neglect of the feelings and the welfare of workers in our Nigerian universities. And this clearly translates into poor conditions of service, and also it affects the performance or job performance of our workers. And I do not understand why people will continue to be patient when they have been pushed to the wall.
Pushed to the wall, where we're joined now by the president of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, Mohammed Ibrahim, whom you saw moments ago in that report. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, you reeled out a number of issues there: lack of attention to the welfare of workers generally in Nigeria, and government's propensity not to care. But it looks like you're focusing more on this 4-month unpaid salaries. Is that just the reason why you're going on strike?
Well, thanks for having me. And clearly, this is to say that this is one of the crux of the matter. When you are denied of your rights, when there's a glaring injustice being played out by those in government, there is nothing you will do than to raise your voices. Some people have decided to put their knee on our necks. Mr. President of this country, President Bola Tinubu, in October 2023, through his media advisor, released a statement that he has given a waiver for the payment of 4 months of the withheld salaries of our workers in the universities, who went on strike in 2022. And that the Minister of Education, Professor Mohammed, in November, we had a meeting with him, with officials of the ministry. He did confirm the approval of Mr. President. And that we waited until March this year. Nothing happened. And we went on a one-week warning strike, just to draw attention of government. They pleaded with us, invited us for a meeting. We discussed a lot, and that thing was going to be attended to. From March, we are now in July. Nothing has happened. So clearly, what is playing out is that either there are saboteurs in the government of this Mr. President, or there are people who are deliberately trying to create chaos to further underdevelop the education system that is already suffering. So this is why we did not just wake up one day and say we are going on strike. We gave a 2 weeks ultimatum through writing a reminder to the Minister of Education, writing Minister of Labor, writing Minister of Finance, drawing their attention on this glaring injustice and the sufferings of our members. Recall that the economy is already in the doldrums. Workers in the universities are one set of people in Nigeria that suffer so much because our universities mostly are sited way outside of the townships and the cities. So to commute from the town to the universities is a Herculean task. So the buses are not there, salaries have been withheld, other allowances that have been approved and budgeted for, especially the 50 billion naira and allowances that was captured in 2023 budget, was not released. A lot of other things that are there listed. Now, when we were shocked to the bone marrow was when we woke up to see that our colleagues in the academics were now paid and we were left out. Clearly, we are not begrudging paying our colleagues. It's good, it's fine, we are happy for them. But then, what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. And that anybody that knows how a university system works clearly knows that there is no one segment of the university that is enough or that is complete to run the system. Because the non-teaching staff, we admit students, we appoint staff, we pay salaries, we take care of them in the clinics, we supply water, we supply electricity, we give security. Well, so once we withdraw these services, no matter what you put in place, studies cannot take place.
Right. Absolutely, as you rightly put it, what's good for the goose is sauce for the gander. And you say since 2022, your colleagues, the lecturer's colleague, have been paid. Now, this conversation must have a base. And let's talk about how you started off with this government. You said you sent a reminder. Did you get a response when that reminder, communication rather, was sent to the government of President Tinubu?
That is the bitter part of it. All the correspondences we have had with them, no responses were made, except...
You don't say. Let's get it. You mean you wrote and all your correspondences...
No replies have been given till today, except for the fact that the Minister of Education invited us.
Were they acknowledged?
They were acknowledged. We have them. We have copies of our acknowledgements. And that the minister met with us to confirm that Mr. President did approve the release on of these monies. And as they termed it, that it was something that was going to be done for the last time because they invoked the work, no pay. But in our own case, it's even different because when we went on strike in 2022, we did not suspend the strike because we were forced to, but because we signed a collective agreement with the then Minister of Education, Mala Adamu, the Permanent Secretary, the Executive Secretary of NUC, the Minister of Labour, Dr. Chris Ngige. We signed, and part of what we signed had in it a non-victimization clause, that nobody who took part in this strike was going to be punished.
You think you have been victimized?
What victimization is more than keeping your money that is supposed to be given to you?
Do you have, are you getting any feelers at all as to why ASU was paid the 4-month salary and SSANU was left out?
The impression we had was that there was a communication gap. That is not official. But we were told that there was a miscommunication between the conveyors of the approval to the paying body, the Accountant General. But with our reminder, with the people we met in government, we thought that this would have corrected the issue. But then, how much more time do we need? We have lost so many members because we have members who are literally living on drugs because they needed to attend to their health, either they are diabetic or hypertensive, and our members were sent out of their rented apartments. They could not pay school fees for their children. What do you expect? Somebody who works in a university whose children are there and he cannot pay the fees. So what embarrassment is more than that? Or that they send you out of your rented apartment because you are not able to. And because, most workers today survive on thrifts, survive on loans they take from banks. And these banks do not understand that your salaries have been stopped. So interest kept piling, and that when salaries started flowing, virtually everybody was going on negatives.
Right.
It's a tough one, a tough call, and the whole essence why you're also here on this program is for the government to listen and do what they should do. Tomorrow, on Thursday's deadline, you're meeting on Thursday, and you say if nothing else is communicated from the government, you will withdraw your services.
Definitely.
So one last try. Is there another push in the next 48 hours to get to the government on this?
Well, I can confirm that attempts have been made to reach us. At least the Minister of Labour sent in a letter inviting us for a meeting. Okay. But we are not too excited about meeting with government officials, especially, you know, this present government, because you can see even the larger labor body has been meeting. The issues of minimum wage has become like a drama, you know, 2 steps forward, 3 steps backward. So meeting government officials is giving us a lot of concern. Yes, they have approached us. We will go there. We will meet. We have an open mind.
Is there a set date for the meeting? When exactly?
We are also, incidentally, the meeting is also going to be on Thursday. So, but this has been their modus operandi. They always wait for the last day, and then they invite you to distract you and also embarrass you before public that they have offered something. And this has been done in November. It was done in March, and now we are in June. So what
are you asking of government now?
What we are asking of government is that the approval of Mr. President that the 4 months withheld salaries should be paid to workers in the universities should also reach the workers in the non-teaching cadre. That is one. Then we have an approval of 50 billion naira that was budgeted in 2023 for the allowances of workers in federal universities that has not also been released and has not been paid. And then, of course, the recent development that is so disturbing now is that even our retirees do not access the monies they have contributed in the name of pensions contribution, because 1 year, 2 years after retirement, you will still be running between pillar to post. Right. And that the recent government pronouncement of trying to even borrow money from the PFAs to fund some crazy projects, you know. So those are things that we are trying to say that, look, this is democracy. This is about the people, and therefore you cannot continue to make people suffer and you expect them to be laughing. So we just pray that Mr. President is listening, or those that are in charge are listening, so that at the end of the day we avoid this avoidable strike.
And that's why we're excited that this meeting will hold on Thursday, and we hope after that we'll have you back here to speak more about the outcome of that meeting. Mohammed Ibrahim, it's a delight speaking with you on Newsline.